and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, so happy to have you here with me. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. And I'm going to call after the first break, 585-346-3000. You know, I got a call from my daughter who's in college. She is right now in Georgia, but she officially lives with me, and that's where she votes. And that is where, her residence is. And she calls me up and she says, "Hey, Dad, can you help me get my absentee ballot? I want to make sure I know how to do this. Can you walk me through it? Or should I even bother?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Should I even bother voting?" And I said, "I understand why you feel that way. I do. You feel like, will it matter?" And she said, "Yeah." She goes, "We already know what's going to happen. Doesn't matter if I vote." And I couldn't just answer her because I thought about it with myself. I thought, all right, as I say all the time, where I live in Queens and where she lives in Queens, the Democrats always win. That's not a joke. They always win. If you pay attention to some of my shows I've done in the past, I talk about the last time my state senator ran, she won 98-1. No, I'm sorry, 99-1. She won by 98 points. Yes. Why? She ran unopposed. So she got 99% of the vote. That's Saddam Hussein numbers. That's Kim Jong-un numbers. That's what happens here where I live. City, they win. State, they win. Federal, they win every single time. Why bother? I don't have democracy where I live. What I'm doing is I'm virtue signaling. That's all I'm doing, which maybe we should virtue signal. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing if I can't make anything happen. But as many of you know, I was hoping that RFK Jr. would be on our ballot so that we could at least vote for a third party, at least something, get something done, build a third party out. That's not going to happen either. So why in the world should I bother voting? Harris is going to win the state, whether Trump wins the election or not. He'll either win the way he won in 2016 without New York, or he'll lose the way in 2020 without New York. Either way, he's not getting New York State. Okay, so does it matter who I vote for? Harris is going to win. Locally, every Democrat's going to win. Why bother? Well, people have said, well, Larry, you got to go there and vote because Prop 1. Prop 1 is a big deal. We got to go vote Prop 1. That matters tremendously. I haven't talked about Prop 1 much at all. And I'll explain what it is in a second. Those you don't know, if it's a New York State ballot proposition for our Constitution. But why? Some of you are going to be upset because it's going to pass. It doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter. Am I saying don't vote? I am not saying that. I am trying to explain how broken our system is. And when someone says, Larry, you have to make sure that we vote because voting matters, because democracy is on the line. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I don't have it now. My vote doesn't matter at all. It means nothing except a virtue signal. That sounds terrible. Well, the advantage we have is, I guess there is one advantage, is if things get so insanely bad, maybe they'll figure it out. I don't know. But let me walk down why people are so mad about Prop 1. And I guess I'll talk about one thing, maybe if enough people vote against Prop 1, it won't have a mandate. Maybe. But here's the problem. It's a constitutional amendment. which means it goes to the Constitution, and your mandate is irrelevant. It isn't a law that can just be turned and changed, right? Roger Meadows right now is probably ready to jump out of his own skin. He's always talking about, having ballot initiatives for citizens to put on to remove laws or to amend the Constitution. Yeah, that could work now. But here's what people don't know. They say, well, Larry, it's just people putting it on the ballot. No, how New York State works is, and this goes to Roger's point that he brings up often, is the people don't put this ballot initiative on. That's not how New York State works. New York State is completely corporate. New York State is completely establishment to the nth degree that it goes on a ballot initiative if the assembly agrees. So if the assembly wants to avoid responsibility, it agrees to put it on the ballot so that now it can blame the people. And we're like, that's a good idea. No, that's how it works. People outside of New York State go, oh, well, great. It's a citizens ballot initiative. No, it isn't. It's an establishment ballot initiative. Yes. And they know the outcome before they put it up there. So if they don't want to be a bad guy to get rid of something, they put up a ballot initiative that will fail. They don't have to vote against it, right? So they're safe. But the people didn't want it. It's not me. I wanted it. I would have voted for it, but the people. Or the reverse. They don't want to be the ones to say it, so they go ahead and put it out there. Why? Because Prop 1 is going to break New York State even worse than it's broken already. And when it happens, they don't want to be responsible for it. That is why they put Prop 1 on the ballot and they just vote on it. That's why. They want to make sure that they cannot be blamed when everything collapses. I wouldn't have supported it. That's what we're going to say. We would. No. We wouldn't support that kind of thing. All right. So what's it called? It has a great name. And I mean a great name. A wonderful, great name. It's the Equal Rights Act. Oh, my God. That's got to be good. Yeah. What do people say? Well, you understand. It's to support, it will support abortion rights. Okay. I get that. So let me ask you, is that a problem in New York State? Again, some states, yes, New York State. This is a New York State issue. Is that a problem in New York State? No. There is literally zero chance of a woman's right to be affected in New York State. Zero. That's imaginary. The Democrats have a full, complete supermajority in our assembly. A Democrat has not won any statewide election, anything, senator, governor, president, AG, nothing in over 20 years. And the state's getting bluer. There are more Democrats registered in New York State than are independents and Republicans combined. This state is in no danger of losing this. There. Well, you might go, wait a minute, Larry. It isn't just abortion rights, Larry. You're missing it. It's also things like ethnicity and gender. Okay. Is that a problem in New York State? It's not. New York State even has rules against, you can't discriminate against somebody's weight. I'm not joking. That's a law in New York City. You can't discriminate against somebody's hair. Hair. That's law. Is there some fear that in New York State, we're going to start saying, oh, you're a black guy, you're fired. You're gay, you're fired. Is that going to happen in New York State? Stop. That's a fantasy. Zero chance. Not 1%, maybe, you never know. No, 0%. There is no chance of that happening in New York State. Okay. So what is this fixing? Why do we have to have this? What's the problem? There is none. That's the issue. It is a solution for no problem. And I said, wait a minute, okay. If it's solution for no problem, then why do it? Are they stupid, Larry? They're just making bad mistakes? Oh, no. The fear, and very often, you see me attack right-wing fear too, right? Kamala's a Marxist. She's not a Marxist. That's fine, whatever. I do. I call out right-wing fear also. This is not right-wing fear. I'm just being clear. This is not right-wing fear. This is real fear. This is not, oh, I just hate Democrats, so I'm just going to say stuff to scare you because I hate Democrats. Nope. And Republicans do that. 100%. You will hear me call it out. Not this time. Because they added some things to this. They added a very important phrase. Several of them, but here's one important one. National origin. National origin. Why does that matter? Why is that an issue? In New York City now, over 1/3 of the people who live in New York City are not born in the country. Is there some massive problem with that? Are they not being hired? Are they being discriminated against? Are they somehow paying some terrible immigrant tax or something? I mean, no problem. It's been that way in New York City for decades, if not centuries. What's wrong? Aha. Here's the problem. Because once you put that in the Constitution, now, when New York State tries again to let undocumented immigrants, migrants vote, they will now have a new basis to put that through. Because that's discriminating based upon national origin. Larry, you're being conspiratorial. I am not. I wish I was. And sometimes I want to walk down a rabbit hole. And I will tell you when I am. I'm not telling you that. This is real. This is the first step to, because they tried before. New York City tried to do it. And they were like, oh, you can't do it. Oh, okay. Let's put it in the Constitution. Done and done. This is the second step. They tried the first time, it failed. They're going to try again. And this time, it will pass. And when that actually happens, you will see, oh my God, big change. Now, it won't be in federal elections. They can't do that. But it can be in state elections if it's in a state constitution. That means now that people undocumented can now vote. That will happen. Not now, but that will be the next step. Guaranteed. It'll be a massive battle. And that battle, they will win. Because once this starts happening, more people will leave. And the Democrats will not just be 2.5 to 1, they'll be 4 to 1. We are in trouble, my friends. And I wish I was done, but there's more on how bad this is. And I'll cover that, plus your calls, and of course, the chat, which I see you all after the break. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Dion, you see this most likable spokesperson poll?
Really? I might know somebody. Oh, we're looking forward to this today, aren't we?
Seriously, guys. We're a team. We're not competing against each other.
Ooh, who's a good spokesperson?
2 puppies? I did not expect that from you.
Ooh, one of them for you. Oh, ooh, who's a good spokesperson? Yes, go Team West Her. Oh.
Welcome to West Her, New York.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
Sharpe Radio on the WYSL stations.
Larry Sharpe, here on Sharpe Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number. I've been talking about Prop 1 and a little bit down on it. Actually, a lot down on it, but that's fine. I brought up the idea of national origin and how that will be used in the future to allow them to allow non-citizens to vote. Now, will that happen right away? Probably not. No, they'll wait a little bit. Then there'll be some law in New York City. Then there'll be a statewide law, and it will eventually happen. And there'll be some rules behind it, like you've got to live here for like 10 minutes or something. I don't know, whatever. They'll come up with a rule or something. They will have something, and then that will happen. And you might go, Larry, that's crazy New Yorkers. As you hear from me every single week, for those of you listening who are not in New York State, what happens here comes to you. It always does. It's why I sit here and fight so much. I fight here on the front line because what happens here goes to the entire country. That's how it works. Sadly, we will not be able to stop it here. It's going to happen. It sounds horrible. And that's why I was so down and not really talking about it. Because talking about it is not going to make us feel good. This is not, oh, happy day show. I mean, I'll give you some happy stuff at the end, because I always do. But I'm not done. It does something else. It will make Kathy Hochul, Queen Hochul, first of her name, all hail. She will be able to show how forward and amazing and progressive New York is and New Yorkers are. And she will validate throwing out all the conservatives. It's what she's been saying for years. It's what Cuomo said before her. You know, they always say that. Oh, you conservatives got to leave, got to get out. See, no room for you guys. Get out. And gals. I meant that guys generically, but guys and gals, you guys got to go. You find that happen. You will find it happen again and again and again once this passes. It will validate her. In addition, it will validate all the bad laws they make because it's virtue signaling. Is it actually solving a problem? No. It's about gender. It's about race. It's about sexual orientation. Are any of those things in jeopardy somehow in America? I'm sorry, not in America. In some parts of America, they are. In New York? No, it's not a thing. So it is a bunch of virtue signaling. See, we're better. See, we're cool. Vote for us because of that. But it does something else here, which some of you may not see. They've said it's about abortion, even though abortion is not in the bill at all. It's about pregnancy option or something like that. I forgot what it was. So now you can't discriminate against someone who's pregnant, I guess, or who wants to get pregnant or can get pregnant, whatever. You can't, I guess that was a problem. I don't remember that, but now that's solved. It's like she made something illegal, illegaler. And she does that often. I brought it up so many times. There's nothing there's something to fix in this regard. So you just make something illegal, illegaler, and then declare victory. You don't fix an actual problem. You just do this. So that's the issue. All right, why does that matter? Because now you can put abortion on the ballot. Why would that matter? Well, how else can you ensure that Trump loses New York State? That ensures it. You put abortion on a ballot. Now, if I'm a Democrat, smart move. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. As soon as someone said, why don't we do this? Democrats said, yes, genius, 100%. We get to put abortion on a ballot on a state that there's no issues with abortion whatsoever. Oh yeah, let's do that. And they did. And you'll see the talk. This is protecting a woman's right to choose, blah, blah, blah. Trump wants to take away all your rights. Works perfectly. So it virtue signals and solves that problem of, look, Democrats might actually have to have some policies and stuff. They don't want to do that because they either don't know or they're bad ideas. So what can we do? I know. let's demonize Republicans. That'll work. And sadly, they're right. I wish they weren't, but they are. Immediately, you are seeing people getting scared. I see it here in New York. I see it in the city. I see it everywhere. Oh my God, our rights are going to end. We got to vote against Trump because our rights are going to end. Okay, not New York. That's not a thing. They can't fix New York because New York's a disaster and collapsing in every way, shape, and form. So they could either fix the state or put abortion on the ballot. They want abortion on the ballot. That'll work. Let's do that. And it worked. I wish it wasn't true, but it's worked. But I got to go further. Oh, yeah, I do. It also focused heavily on things like gender identity, right? And preferences. It's things like that. That part drives me crazy, that it's that vague. So what does that do? Well, if I can't discriminate against somebody's gender identity, if I can't do that, well, now I can decide I am whatever I am, whenever I want, and any law that was made for the other gender, I can take advantage of. Yes. So I want a government contract. And I say, well, you have to pick me. And they say, why? Well, because I'm a certified woman-owned business. Well, I ain't a woman. Why are you discriminating against me? What? No, we're not discriminating. Yes, you are. You're not a woman. Yes, I am. I identify as a woman. You cannot discriminate against me. Our Constitution says so. It is the law of the land. Give me the contract. Now, people don't think about that. They're thinking about other things. No, I'm thinking about business. You might go, Larry, would someone do that? What if it's a $10 million contract? $100 million contract? $100 million contract? Call me Mrs. Sharpe. All good, Mrs. Sharpe. I don't care. Mix Sharpe. I don't care. $100 million? Call me whatever you want. I'll use whatever pronoun you like. You decide. He, she, they. I'm all of them. Give me $100 million. And there are contracts throughout New York State that are focused on that. Women-owned businesses. All of a sudden now, you have people doing that. There's that much money to do it for. You're going to have lawsuits now all over the place. Now, who's that going to hurt? Women. And who's going to vote for this? Women. But they're going to do it anyway. Why? Why would you do that? You're going to take money out of your own pocket to give to guys who are going to say, I'll be whatever you want for $100 million or whatever, $10 million. This contract says $1 billion. Whatever you think, you can call me anything for $100 million. I don't care what it is. It's fine. I'm whatever you want me to be. Don't even think about that. What happens when there's laws? Laws like, for example, you cannot be charged with certain crimes if you are a female. I'm not joking. By the way, I don't want to say the word, but when you engage with a woman non-consensually, how about that? Only men can be charged with that. Well, I'm a woman now. The worst I can be charged with is as accessory. What? Yes, I'm a woman now. You can't swim against me. What happens when all the prisoners in the male jails say they're all female? You gonna change the jails? Put them in with women? You can't discriminate. What happens when that happens? The doors this opens up is horrible in our legal system. And I'm not even done. I have more. Larry Sharpe, Shortwave Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number. Back with your calls and, of course, your chat after the break.
Soros-free talk radio.
WYSL.
27,000 watt AM 1040, FM 92.1, FM 95.5.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies, another mild night in the 50s. On Wednesday, sun and clouds winning out in the afternoon. A little breezy out there. Temperatures still mild, mid-70s, and there could be a late-day rain shower. Turning much cooler on Thursday behind that front. Sun and clouds, maybe a shower. Temps Thursday only in the low 50s. I'm Rich Caniglia, WYSL.
WYSL.
Tom Hamilton here, president of Hamilton Wealth Management. Let's talk about investment fees and commissions. Just how much are you paying to have your investments managed? If you're like most people, you really don't know the cost, right? Does this make any sense? Paying for something without knowing how much? Okay, maybe your advisor is a friend and even sends you a birthday card every year, but what real value is he providing and at what cost? Isn't that a fair question to ask of any service provider, including your broker? For a $2 million account with annual fees and commissions totaling 2.5%, you're paying $50,000 per year. That's a lot of money. Are you receiving that level of value? If you have over $250,000, I will personally review your investments, including an analysis of the actual costs. To schedule your no-cost review, call our Pittsford office at 381-9870 or contact us from our website, hamiltonwealthmanagement.com. That's hamiltonwealthmanagement.com.
Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor.
Attention homeowners, electricians, plumbers, and home repairmen. Mark your calendar for the Giant Contractors Tool Sale. 2 days only, November 8th and 9th. A contractor is retiring and selling a huge inventory.
We have Keith.
Copper pipe soldering tools, baker,
You're welcome.
reaming and flaring tools. The Giant Contractors Tool Sale will include step and extension ladders, drain power snakes, pneumatic nailers, framing, finish, and roof, rigid HD drywall screwdriver, north safety harness. The sale is November 8th from 3 to 6 p.m. and November 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Ramset Cobra Plus powder fastening system with charges. Chicago electric double cut saw. Rigid micro 25 camera. The Giant Contractors Tool Sale is 2 days only. Come early for best selection. Multi-testers, switch disconnect, variety of circuit breakers, and electrical hardware. Wire, work lights, joiner, planer, sander. Too many items to list. Don't miss the Giant Contractors Tool Sale. November 8th and 9th at First Baptist Church of Rochester. 175 Allens Creek Road in Brighton.
Hi, I'm Steve Tasker. Over the years, my wife Sarah and I have supported Heritage Christian Services and the work that they do to advance an inclusive and equitable community. Heritage Christian Services and their staff support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities by offering meaningful and diverse experiences. Like us, they believe that people are entitled to dignity, respect, equity,
Larry?
and justice, and that belief is
after Keith, we have Raina. She's from Westchester County.
Offer life-enriching opportunities for people throughout the community through therapeutic writing, health and wellness services, and childcare, and more. Now more than ever, Heritage Christian Services needs your support to continue their work. Consider becoming a friend to Heritage Christian like Sarah and I did almost 20 years ago. You can choose to volunteer, share their job opportunities, or make a donation. To learn more, visit heritagechristianservices.org. That's heritagechristianservices.org.
Today's heat pump systems are a better, more convenient way to keep your home comfortable all year round. They'll keep you cool on the hottest summer days and keep you warm on the coldest winter nights. Plus, these all-weather ductless or ducted systems are up to 40% more efficient than conventional heating and cooling systems. Upgrade to an energy-efficient heat pump system and take advantage of clean heat rebates. Find out more at airquipheating.com.
Airquip Heating and Air.
The second annual Batavia Bacchus Wine Festival at Batavia Downs will be happening on Saturday, October 26th. For $30, attendees will have access to wine sampling from local and national wineries, as well as grazing stations. All attendees will receive $15 in free play. Head to BataviaConcerts.com for tickets.
Hey, Mr. Bowhunter, do you think you're safe from the gun grabbers? Today, it's ammo. Tomorrow, it could be arrows. Elections have consequences. Not voting makes it easier for gun grabbers to take your stuff. Be sure to register and vote. When you don't vote, you lose twice. Vote for your constitutional rights. This message brought to you by MonroeCountyScope.com.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-300 is the number. I have a calls I got to take, but I want to grab one quick comment. This is from Patty. She says, sadly, this is exactly what is happening. Give me money, and I'll say anything you want me to say. Yeah, I wish she wasn't right, but she is. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Keith from Rochester. How are you, Keith?
As always, Mr. Sharpe, you make things way too complicated. When Trump wins in 2 weeks, he's going to utilize the agencies of authority that already exist to push out the illegals. And if he's further smart, which he's not, he's going to call upon guys like me, which are numerous in number, to help get rid of the illegals. If the illegals are not pushed out, we are heading for open shooting civil war, which some of us welcome. So I understand the distress you're going through, but if Hochul or any other nut job insists on keeping the illegals here and making them legal, then guys like me will flood into New York from all over the country, and we will do what has to be done, getting rid of the illegals and getting rid of Hochul by whatever means. That's what it's going to take, sir.
Let me touch a couple of those. Number one, this is the issue that a lot of people don't want to wrestle with. Big business wants them here desperately. And as much as Trump may want to get rid of them, he still will have to fight big business. And big business is a massive block for any of that. They have money and time and jobs and all types of things that will fight back. They don't want to get rid of them. That's the point. Not just that. The Democratic establishment does not want to get rid of them. Democratic establishment raised $1 billion for Harris this last month or two. There's a lot of money. It's not as easy as you may think, Keith, at all. People want them here. Big business and big organizations want them here, or they wouldn't be here. Do you see my point?
Yeah, I do. We're heading for a divided country. Some of us will not be pushed any further back. I think you have to understand that. Our side, we still have the guns, and it's coming to that, and it's not going to be good. So I understand the various scenarios that anyone well beyond yourself could come up with, but some of us are only going to go so far back, and so far as not going back any further than we've been pushed back. That's my question in closing. What happens with those of us who will not be pushed back any further when we do pick up the gun, and then
Other caller is gone.
Shooting civil war? What then?
All right. I'll tell you what I think. I think we're not there yet. I don't think we are. And I think if people try to do something like that, it'll just make things worse. I think that anyone who does that, which is why I don't advise it, is just going to ruin their own lives, either by ending them or by going to prison. I think the system is still completely backing itself and still much stronger than any grassroots right now at all. And I think J6 is a good example of that. Most of those people were broken, put into prison, lives broken, and now they're all on a list. And the three other agencies have all their names, know who they are, know how to break them, have something on them. And so the people who would be doing what you're saying will basically come out and get harassed and get punished in multiple ways and make things worse. I don't think there was a buddy of mine was talking about Iran and saying, when should we push on Iran? When should anybody push on Iran? And his answer was, which is, I thought was a savvy one. He said, when the military begins to push back, then we're there. Keith, in my view, we're not there. It is an error to do so. It will just make things worse. The country isn't there yet. That's my view. I hope at least you understand my view.
Rena.
Let me grab Rena if I could. Rena, how are you?
Larry, are you talking to me?
I am.
Okay, I'm gonna, let me just close. Okay, I can't, I was
Don't
trying to
close,
listen to the
open.
show at the same time.
No, open,
So,
come on.
I was like kind of flummoxed by Keith. I'm still taking in what you were saying to him. No,
Well,
I
Keith calls in
totally, I mean,
often,
everybody
and he's very
feels that
open,
way.
and I'm happy that he's open the way he speaks. I'm happy that he is open the way he speaks.
Totally.
Go ahead, please.
Except what you were saying is the only outcome of that, though. But yeah, like, you know, and then you mentioned Iran, and my head's all over the place now. But I was
But what
waiting
did you
for you
call
to get to
for?
the age.
What was bugging you when you called?
Nothing's bugging me. I was loving listening to the show, which is why I hung up the first time, because I'd rather listen to you than talk.
Oh,
But
that's so sweet. Thank you.
Well, I was going to point out that you're getting to age, right? Like they're going to take kids away from parents, like they do in California. I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the piece I was coming up with next. You took some of my thunder. I had more of that. I did.
Well, you could talk about it for hours. Like how the hell did it happen? And then what you said about corporations, you know, running the show. I mean, would you say? Is it really all about money, or is there like a Hannibal Lecter factor? And what I mean by that is, you know what I mean by that, without having to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just you know, I was reading about Hannibal Lecter. I never read the book, so you know, I was trying to figure out what Trump meant when he was making a joke about Hannibal Lecter, because I always do the same thing. Because Hannibal Lecter, if you remember, was like, I'm not sure if he ever killed women and children, but he was killing the like most perverse and corrupt aspects of our government symbolically.
Oh,
like
that's what you're
people
talking about.
even worse than himself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Now I got it. Okay, now I'm with you. All right. Well, let me then touch that if I could. I'll walk down the road for a little bit. There's a secondary piece here, which I hadn't even brought up yet. And that is now, there's two parts, but the biggest one is what you just talked about is kids. And it doesn't say adults. It just says people, persons. It doesn't say adults. That's a problem, right? New York State made an error years ago by making education a right. And you might go, wait a minute, education should be a right. Okay, maybe. I'm not going to fight you on that piece for now. What I'm fighting you on is you now made rights for children. The second you make constitutional rights for children, now the state gets to step into your family. That's the opening that was required. Now they can put you in jail for truancy. Now they can take your kids if you don't send them to school. Now they can stop you from homeschooling. Why? We're protecting rights. This will do the same thing. You are exactly right, Raina. This will happen the same way. Now they'll go, see, your kid has a gender identity. You're not doing it right. We take your kid. Yes, that's exactly correct. Your kid wants to get an abortion and not tell you. Well, abortion discrimination? No. That's it. No. Oh, you're a doctor and you don't want to do it? Boom. You go to jail. Discrimination. Yes. This doesn't say adults. That's my problem. I'm a libertarian. Do what you want to do as long as you are an adult. Adults should do as they see fit. Just don't hurt anybody else. I'm good. Kids, I'm not good with that. That's not what this is about. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you mentioned truancy, guess who comes to mind?
Who?
Like Kamala Harris was
the
host, right? So it's like there's something bigger going on that's beyond all the details. Like it's not just about like, you know, illegals should have transgender surgery in jail. It's about how can we fuck this shit up? You know what I mean? Like how can we like destroy?
This is radio, please. Please watch your language. This is actual radio. This is not a podcast. This is actual radio. Please watch
I'm
language.
trying to be like dramatic, but it's
No
like
worries.
how can we sabotage the United States of America, like on the level of dignity, on the level of being taken seriously around the world, and exploit. Like, I don't mean to, people deal with what they deal with, and
I get it.
like, oh my God, all the psychology involved in understanding why someone is going to become a man or a woman. But
that isn't
to
my
make
point.
a gross.
My point is, if you're an adult, do as you see fit. Rain, I'm up on a break. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Let me repeat. If you're an adult, I have no issues. You do as you see fit. Change your body as you want to change it. Call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. I'm in. Happy as can be. You should be happy. But once you start shifting that down to kids and taking away parental control, now I start worrying. Now we got an issue. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Sharpe Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls. And I see your chat. I'm going to grab it all after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks
We have
easier
Roger.
than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
I'm Greece Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Joe Robach. If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop here for your hunting needs. With changes in New York State laws, they'll work with you to fulfill your needs. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday, Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Hey, this is Stryker that calls into WYSL's PCP Boys. I'd love to have you come listen to my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic. If you like the content of WYSL, I think you'll like my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic, on Podbean, Spotify, and Amazon podcast apps.
Sharpe Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Radio. So happy to have you here with me, giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I do want to grab a couple of comments before I go back to the phone calls, if I could. Just one or two of them. So, Raina says, sorry I cursed. Yes, remember, this is actual radio, guys. This is my podcast. My podcast, say whatever you want. But radio, you got to be good. Got to be good. It is radio. So, yes. All righty. Dave says, your caller that welcomes civil war doesn't understand what a civil war in the U.S. would mean. It wouldn't be a two-sided civil war like last time. We are already a divided country. Agreed. It would be horrible. And I don't think it would go as people think right now for sure. I think it would be a big problem because a lot of people, this is happening because a lot of people want it to happen, right? It's not just because they decide to, right? People want to. John says, would abortion doctors be sued for discrimination if there's patients that seek abortions without wombs? Yes, that's my point. You're right, John. That's a lawsuit. Now you might go, wait a minute, are people going to be doing that? Of course they will, because it's a lawsuit. So now I'm in trouble. I got to find a way. I'm going to go to a doctor and go, I want to have, I don't know, a pap smear. Larry, you can't. Oh, discrimination? Lawsuit. Now, the first one, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? Our New York State judiciary is embarrassingly bad. They're embarrassingly bad. They're going to give up all kind of stuff. And before you know it, lines and lines. And when that happens, what will happen? The doctors will leave. Yeah, the doctors will leave. because they won't sit here and take it. Right? Absolutely. John goes on to ask, women in prisons will be absolutely wrecked if men were allowed to just declare they're female with no surgeries or medical interventions. Yes, it's just identity. So all I have to do is say it. I don't have to do anything differently. I can dress as I want now, do as I want now, have no surgeries, have a beard, and go, I'm a woman. That's how I identify. And now lawsuits. Now you might go, wait a minute, Larry, it would never work. I thought it wouldn't work with bail reform. I was wrong on that one too. This is a bad idea for many reasons. Many, many reasons. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Roger from Nassau. How are you?
Hey, Larry.
What's going on?
So I got 6 things to say. I'm going to say them real quick. Number one.
Oh, geez.
The New York State legislature saying, well, you guys voted for it, so it's your fault. Can't push all of the blame on us and say, hey, I would have voted against it if it were up to me. I'd ask them, well, did you vote for it? Because the way a legislative referred constitutional amendment gets on the ballot in New York State in the first place is the legislature voting on it twice with one even year election in between. That's how amendments get on our ballot. So that excuse of them saying they had nothing to do with it is out the window. 2, the only way that they cannot be blamed is if they would give us the ability to place our own amendments, laws, and repeals of laws on the ballot.
Yes.
Which would mean they'd have to put a legislative referred constitutional amendment on the ballot, expanding those powers to us. 3.
Yep.
There's already a provision in the New York State Constitution that already says that only citizens of the U.S. and residents of New York State can vote in New York State. 4, regarding your daughter, I don't know what you told her, but there's something you may have forgotten to tell her.
Okay.
There are ballot measures that are local to New York City, proposals 2 through 6, which will appear on the ballot for New Yorkers. I sent it to the DM group so you could check it out, to share. 5, on the issue of immigration, the Black community, specifically the American freedmen community, agrees with Keith, okay? Maybe not on the shooting war and civil war and all that different type of stuff, but they don't want the migrants here either because they're being pushed aside, okay?
Agreed.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. So 6, I'm probably leaving the initiative blank, writing, and I'm just going to pretty much write in Jill Stein and Rudolph Ware, and everything else, everything else on there is going to be blank. I'm not voting for that. Yes. I'm not voting for Diane Sayre because I've had a talk with her, and she's only interested in foreign policy issues. She doesn't talk about domestic. It's all foreign with her. So, and she's not for reparations and all that stuff. So I'm like, nah. But here's the thing. Regarding that civil war that Keith was talking about, you have to understand something. The cat, what happened is you got 2 fish in a goldfish bowl fighting against each other while the cat's on the outside looking, wondering, smiling, I'm going to eat both of you. So the cat is the corporations, the government, the shareholders, and private equity, okay? They want us fighting each other, okay? Because that means we're not fighting them. So I'm not calling for any type of war or anything, but if anything, it would be a revolutionary war. Not saying that I'm calling for whatever the case is, but it should be, if he's going to call for war, it should be all of us teaming up together and fighting the government and the corporations, shareholders and all that.
I appreciate that so much, Roger. All right, let me touch a couple of these. Number 1 piece you brought up, which is the legislature piece. You are correct, but maybe 1% of New York State understands how this works. You are right. And that was my entire point. The legislature put this on the ballot because they want to blame us, right? They want to blame us, and most Americans even don't know what you said is the way it happens. They think, oh, the citizens put it on. So you are correct. My issue is, will people know? Right? Will people know? You asked a question about what I told my daughter. I told my daughter to vote anyway. I think she should vote anyway, and I'm going to vote anyway. I am. Because I think there are other issues we have to worry about. But I was trying to make a point, and I hope my point came across. There are a lot of people who simply have given up. And I understand why, right? I do understand why. And I wanted to put that piece out there. Roger, thanks so much for your call. As always, I agree with what you're saying. I think it's the right answer. I agree. Oh, one more piece. I still like Diane Sayre, and I would probably vote for her anyway, because it's her or Gillibrand now? Whoever the other, our senators are terrible. So I'd rather vote for her than any other senator that we have, regardless. So I probably vote for her anyway. And I know her and I like her, so I probably will. So anyway, thank you for the call. Shelley says, this guy is brilliant, like the British use of the word. Somebody likes you. There we go, Roger. You're doing well. Yes. Nicholas says, if education is a right in New York State, then some local governments are denying kids their rights by failing them. There is the issue, Nicholas. You are right. And again, this also makes it bad because now a local government doesn't give the kids whatever education that New York State deems is the appropriate education, whatever that is. What do? Give them more money. The reward for failure is more money. And as you know, in New York State, we spend the most per kid than any other state. Even California, we spend the most. And in most things, we're mediocre. We wind up around 25th, 20th, 30th, depending upon what you look at, graduations rate, whatever. The exception, that's K through 12. Our colleges do better generally, but K through 12, we rank around 25, maybe 35 to 15 in that area, but we rank around the middle always. So we spend the most and we get mediocre. And in certain cases, we get horrible. Out of Rochester, some parts of Rochester, where if you are a Black male, the odds of you graduating high school are under 20%. We have some of the worst schools in the entire country, and we spend the most. That piece people don't get. So thank you for that. Kate asked an interesting question. She says, what are the odds that the Team Kennedy staff sells the volunteer data? Why would this matter for people who might be wondering? In New York State, specifically, hundreds, thousands of volunteers came out to help RFK Jr. get on the ballot. They got over 150,000 signatures. No, 140,000 signatures. Spent over $1 million. A lot of money. Would they sell the volunteer data? They probably would give it, I would assume. If Kennedy is on the Trump team, my assumption they give it, unless they would sell it to pay off campaign debt. That might be true. I don't know. I don't have any direct insight into the Kennedy campaign, so I don't know. But I can imagine them just saying, "Hey, we want Trump to win now, so we'll give you the data to motivate volunteers." Or if they have to pay off campaign debt, I don't know how bad that campaign debt is, but if it's bad, they might sell it for that. I can see either one. Absolutely, guys. I think you should vote, even though sometimes it feels like it's useless. It feels that way with me. Prop 1 is a bad idea for so many different reasons. And we didn't even get into the women's sports part. There's even more. We should vote against it to virtue signal. Either way, guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.